Hello all, my name is Chris Bungie. I'm the author of the upcoming Hallowtide miniature game by Blackside Studios. Hallowtide is a skirmish-level, black powder eldritch fantasy war game. You can play solo, cooperatively, or competitively with up to 4 players. Players take control of crews of hunters as they face off against all manner of unnatural abominations and possibly each other in a desperate struggle for survival. The quick play rules for Hallowtide are currently available from Blackside Studios. Include that link in the description down below. This is the first of a series of videos. It's going to be an introduction to what the game's all about and what makes it unique as compared to other war games. Quick note about myself. Although Hallowtide is my first miniature game, I've worked as a writer in the TTRPG space for the last 10 years, writing articles and supplements for likes of Pinnacle Entertainment, Tacitus Publishing, and the Open Gaming Store. During this whole time, I had this world growing in my head and been written stories in it. I've ran games in it. But it wasn't until I saw an open call for war games that I thought, how do I translate this world, this atmosphere, this lore authentically to the tabletop while also creating engaging, fun play experience? And that idea is what spawned Hallowtide. Now, before we continue, I want to talk about what I mean when I say eldritch fantasy. It's a dark subgenre that combines traditional fantasy with the cosmic horror of authors like H.P. Lovecraft and Algernon Blackwood. You may have seen this in recent games such as Bloodborne and Darkest Dungeon, where things might start normal-ish, might seem like traditional fantasy or gothic adventure, but then the environment shifts. Things start to change. You start to leave the familiar behind. Monsters mutate and become more grotesque. Reality seems to break down, and characters are left questioning their very sanity as they're pushed to the breaking point. And that is what I'm feeling is what I wanted to bring to the tabletop with Hallowtide. The setting, something I've been working on for the last 10 years, volumes of lore, backstory, but core components. Hallowtide takes place on the world of Voirum, 45 years after an event called the Rising, which caused the undead to rise from their graves and tear civilization down to the very roots, scattering civilization across the continent to isolated sanctuaries. These include the likes of the repressive theocracy of the Hallowed Lands, the authoritarian machine state of the Factory, and the strange, constantly echoing forest of the Murmurwald. These sanctuaries are constantly besieged by new horrors that spawn on an almost nightly basis from the hungering dark. It's up to hunters, brave or foolhardy enough, to confront these horrors. They can hold off that extinction one more night. But how do you join this struggle? Well, you're going to need some things. One is some miniatures. This is a miniature game, not surprising. We use miniatures from 28mm to 32mm scale to represent hunters and monsters. You need dice, several sets from a D4 to a D12 in different colors. A couple decks of standard playing cards, and finally you need a board to play on, 3 by 3 foot, and enough terrain to make an engaging play space. Now, what makes the game unique and sets it apart? First of all is the dice mechanics. I did a lot of research on other war games when I was building this, and I wanted to make Hallowtide feel unique from the very DNA, from the dice themselves. So use a unique level dice system where everything's rated from level 1 to level 5. 1 is a D4, 5 is a D12. Anything that affects a die roll has a die code associated with it, and you build the roll from that, creating a dynamic roll every time. Stress and sanity. Every action in the game has potential to cause you stress. You roll a 1 on any of those dice in your pool, that's a point of stress. You also willingly suffer stress to bolster your rolls, take additional actions, or activate special actions. However, you want to be careful not to overstress the hunter or they risk panicking at the worst possible moment. As I said before, I'm a TTRPG writer first, so I wanted to bring the expansive character creation you'd find at TTRPG into Hallowtide. I have 12 homelands, 10 classes, over 100 talents, an arsenal of customizable equipment you can equip to those characters, creating a multitude of options going into the game itself for every hunter in your crew. Finally, when I was working on the game, I was playing a lot of Gloomhaven and similar campaign-style games, and I was thinking I didn't want to create just a set of linear encounters that you play through from the core book. You might play through over a couple weeks and never think about it again. I wanted to create a game where you could come back every week for a year and get a different play experience every time. And this is used by a randomized procedural generation system. We're using for monster placement, objective placement, but also each game comes with a primary objective, which you have to pass to succeed the scenario, but also a secondary objective that can result in great rewards. But that combination, with the core game including 10 primary and 20 secondary, not even including specialized nemesis encounters, that's 200 some encounter options just right there. So I hope you enjoyed this introductory video. I hope you got an idea of what to expect with Hallowtide, and I really hope you go ahead and check those rules out. You can download right now, and continue watching for more videos about Hallowtide. Have a great night and see you soon.